Hey, everybody, Roy McDonald, MacDon and Associates, giving this a second whirl. We just had probably a 25-minute awesome conversation, and your boy completely forgot to hit record. So we're going to jump back into this. If you guys are tuning into today's episode, today I'm talking with Jimmy Nelson, good friend of mine, business partner in a lot of ways. He came on here into the office at EXP Clinton Township recently and operates his team, the elite real estate team, and then the real estate elite coaching that he operates out of here too. Excited to have you on. We're going to be talking a lot having to do with real estate, a lot having to do with wrapping up 2025 in preparation for 2026. And honestly, just maybe some updates of what's going on within the market that we're noticing. But without further ado, Jimmy, you gave such a eloquent introduction the last time.
Good, man. It gives me good practice.
Yeah. Now you get a second opportunity to crack at it.
Yeah. So EXP Elite is the team name. And then we have the Elite Edge Network, right? And the Elite Edge Network kind of encompasses everything. So it's the Elite, EXP Elite, the real estate team, the Elite Real Estate Podcast, and then Elite Coaching. So the Elite Edge Network encompasses all that. So if you find the EliteEdgeNetwork.com, that's kind of where you can find everything in one spot. But I've been in the business for over 10 years, right? And I started I was in mortgage before that, and then flipped over to real estate. But one of the things that, and you and I are, again, both giving men, right? We're men of faith, and we like to give things away. And it's one of the things that I found in our industry that is so hard is giving is for most people is to give it away, right? Everybody wants to charge you something for it, right? There's nobody likes to give stuff away except guys like us, and we give stuff away every day, right? And like we talked about the morning coaching call, right? So the morning coaching call we do every day. If you want to find that number is 248-803-0656. And again, but mute your phone when you come on. But you're on that call, 3-4 days a week.
Yeah.
There's people from all over the country on that call. And we've had people from Canada on the call. We've had people from all over the place on that call in the morning. So, but it's how do we build this industry better, right? And at the end of the day is how do we end up taking care of clients in a high level? And that's the most important thing we can do.
Yeah, no doubt. So to give you guys a little bit of context too around this call that Jimmy's talking about. So both of us belong to the same brokerage, which is the EXP here in Michigan. This call is not a brokerage specific phone call. It is a coaching call that takes place, and it's got agents who are doing, anywhere from 10 deals per year all the way up to a couple hundred per year. And then it has agents that are, focused on luxury brands, and they only touch things that are $1 million, $2 million plus. And then we have people who are in more urban areas that are focused on the investors that are buying houses up for, a couple $1,000, $10,000, $20,000.
Well, we even heard on the call today, they were putting a package together of 10, 12 houses.
Yeah.
Right. And it was going to be about $1 million.
Right.
1.2 but it was going to be like 12 houses. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's funny when people come from out of state to here and we talk about selling 10, 12 houses for like $1 million. They're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you guys can do that? We're like, oh yeah.
Practically put them on a credit card.
Yeah.
So, so those of you who are listening, that podcast or that morning call happens every morning at 7:30.
Yep.
You can jump on it. It goes anywhere from about 8 to 8:20, 8:30 sometimes if it's a really good conversation.
Yeah.
Or somebody is just long-winded. That happens sometimes. But that call is awesome. You learn a ton. You grow a ton, and it's a huge thing. One of the big motivations for me in listening to that, we just talked about a minute ago before I hit record, there are people who are on that call from around the entire United States. So we're here in Michigan, we're Eastern time zone. 7:30 for us is when that call begins. There are people who jump on that from California, which it's 4:30 in the morning when they're getting on that call. And they're awake too. Like they're participating, they're in on it. It's really, really cool to hear. But that being said, and this is kind of transitioning into what our kind of first thing that we're going to talk about, which is wrapping up 2025 as we head into 2026. Goal-wise, what do you want to do? How do you help people when it comes to preparing for the next year while also finishing very well in the year that you're in? But this is the motivating thing for me is these guys are on at 4:30 in the morning. When I hear that, even though I've heard it 10 different times, every time that I do, I go, man, there is no excuse.
Yeah.
There is no excuse why I cannot be participating in a call, having conversations, making the calls, doing the things that I need to do in order to improve my business, and more importantly, take care of people well. Like you mentioned, there's no excuse for it. it's pretty wild, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
And you know, like I said too, like there's I don't know think anything I say is important enough to get up at 4:30 in the morning, but apparently it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
apparently it is to somebody.
Yeah.
Right. But I think it is. I think it's become such a community, right? That 7:30 call, the Breakfast Club,
Yep.
right, has become such a community. Like when we're having events, like people want to meet up because we are in different states, right? We have people in Ohio and Kentucky and in Florida and in North Carolina, South Carolina. It's all over the place. New Jersey. And I've expanded, right? Like because now I have friends that are in New Jersey and I have friends that are in New York and that have become from this call,
Sure.
right? So referral business.
Oh yeah.
I've gotten referrals from it. I've given referrals from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Connections have been made on that call of, hey, I have a client that's looking in Florida. Like who's on? And then, you know, you have 3 or 4 people that jump on. So again, it goes back to that. It's been a community builder. But and some agents have, you know, emailed me and called me and told me like this phone call literally changed my life. And they would not miss it for anything. They're on vacation, right? And again, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about. Like there's days that I just don't want to do it. But then I think like, oh, man, I got to get on there. I got to get on there. I got to get on there and do it, right? And so now it just becomes such a habit for me that at 7:30, if I'm not on the phone at 7:30, my wife and my kids are like, what? You don't have your call today? You know what I mean? Like they're already in tune with it. So, but yeah, it's just become part of it now, right? It's the morning routine, and it starts the day off really good.
Oh yeah.
You know, we can hit some role play. We'll role play on there. We'll just talk through some different decision makers. We're blessed enough here in Michigan to have our brokers on from time to time that are giving us broker advice to like, hey, I have this contract situation. It's nice when I can just shut up and let the broker take it because then I'm like, all right, it's not me.
Yeah.
You know, so we're blessed enough to have that. And then the guests we've had on, right? I mean, the top names in the industry have been on that call with us. Ricky Caruth has been on that call with us. So, I mean, we've had everybody. It's been great. And it's just again, it just becomes part of your morning routine. And, you know, I'm big on routine and building scheduling and all that stuff anyway, because if I don't, stuff just doesn't get done. Yeah. I already know that. I already know if it's not on my calendar, I'm not doing it because I'll forget about it.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's a real thing. Routine. I mean, that's where it's gotten me kind of really focused in and kind of tightening up of being able to, you know, jump on calls in the morning after preparing through that and getting ready and stuff like that too. So it's been good. But so we're wrapping up we're in the fourth quarter of 2025. And I am hearing a lot of people, and I know you have a coaching call coming up. When is the big coaching program?
So October 14th, Tuesday, October 14th.
So tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. So 2 p.m. And so what I've changed to is I'm doing these every Tuesday. Mm-hmm. So every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, I'm doing a webinar. If you need information on it, you can email me at jimmynelsonrealestate@gmail.com. And I'll give you the Zoom link to get in there. But every Tuesday until the end of the year, at least, we'll see what happens at the new year.
Sure.
Right. But every Tuesday from 2 to 3 o'clock, it's about building what you need to get done between now and the end of the year to then get this momentum going in 2026. But like we talked about this morning, like don't forget you're still in the business today. Yeah. Right. You're still looking for now business, but filling that pipeline on a daily basis. So when 2026 starts to happen, I still have business coming in because we hear it all the time, like, oh, January wasn't very busy. And no, because you didn't do anything in December.
Right. Right. Heck, you can go back to November.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. It's a 30, 60, 90-day business.
Right. Right.
You know?
Yeah. So that's one of the things that I'm doing right now is planning for 2026. And in my process of planning for 2026, what I'm realizing, this comes down to routine. You mentioned this before and how important routine is my excitement and drive to prepare for 2026 is taking up some of the time of my drive and preparation for wrapping up 2025. So, well, as far as planning for 2026, I'm going to give a little bit of advice, and I'm going to let you kind of run with this too, because you're more of a coach than I am in this area.
Rory just tells you to get shit done.
Just do it. Yeah. Like it's honestly, a lot of it is that. You know what I mean?
A lot of it is just that.
A coach is going, hey, this is what you should do. But it really comes down to, are you going to do it or not?
Yeah.
You know, and I've gotten so frustrated with people of like, this is what you need to do. And then they don't do it. This is what you need to do. And they don't do it. To the point where I'm like, you know what? Fine. Forget it. I don't even want, I'm done.
I'm doing my thing. Get out of here.
Just leave me alone. So, in preparation for 2026, one of the things that I decided to do this year is, am I changing goals? Yes, but it's more of a plug and play of changing goals. I want to increase what it is that I want to do next year in comparison to what is it I did this year.
Yeah.
But I know that the things that get me the results that I'm going to end up with in 2026 are the same things that are going to get me those same results in 2025. So I need to finish 2025 hard. That is my preparation for 2026. So that's kind of how it is that I'm viewing it right now.
Yeah.
But I'm open to your coaching.
But it's laser focused, right?
Sure.
That's the thing. When you can get laser focused, and it's hard to stay laser focused for a long stretch.
It's hunting season, baby.
It's hard. Hunting season.
Yeah.
You got duck season. You got deer seasons coming up. Like we got, we're in the Midwest, guys.
Yeah. Everyone's like, Thanksgiving's around the corner and Halloween and Christmas. No, baby.
Yeah. Rory's like, no,
I'm
it's duck
be
season.
On a boat in the lake. That's where I want to be. Yeah.
Yeah. 45 degrees.
No, we're colder than that.
Yeah.
Man. Let's go. Yeah. We're in a tree stand chasing bucks.
That's right.
That's where I want to be. But that is the hard thing about this season. But yeah. To get, I'm going to let you keep going. I can sit here and talk about hunting for the next 2 hours. I don't want to do that.
What that's next Tuesday. We'll talk about hunting
next
more.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Next Tuesday.
I think Rory's going to try to get me out on the boat to kill a couple ducks this year.
I'm
we'll
down, dude. It can't be next Tuesday. We're going to be at EXPCon.
Oh yeah, we will be at EXPCon.
Maybe we should do that. Yeah. We'll talk about ducks at EXPCon.
Yeah, we can
in
do
the
that.
Pool. Let's go.
Let's do that in Miami. I don't think they duck hunt in Miami.
No, probably not.
Probably not in Miami.
Probably
Florida,
yeah,
but not Miami.
Seagull hunting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But now to your point, like it's hard to stay laser focused for a long time because you brought it up. Like you're a hunter, right? Well, then you have like the holidays are coming up. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh, it's Halloween. I got to get the kids. I got to do this. There's all these distractions we get that pop up all the time. But if you can get laser focused for 2 to 3 hours a day, you can run a very successful business, right? Like you can run a very successful business being like laser focused for 2 to 3 hours a day. You just have to be doing the right activities those 2 to 3 hours a day, right? That's really what it boils down to. And what are those activities? Like for you, your FSBOs, expires, like you'll dial, right? And like we hear on the call all the time, there's people out there like, I just don't want to dial.
Yeah.
Cool. Then how are you getting business?
Sure.
Right. And if it's your sphere and that's great. But for 2 to 3 hours a day, you need to be concentrating and focusing on that sphere. And if it's social media, same thing. You need to be focusing on that. And there's different ways to go about it. But like when I hear agents tell me like they're going to do social media, okay, what does that mean?
Yeah.
It's not just posting a couple times a day. It's direct messaging people and reaching out and making touches. And you can do I know agents that are very successful using a ton of social media, but it's a job. It's not just I throw a couple posts out there and pray.
Yeah.
I'm actually commenting on posts. I'm reaching out to people. I'm DMing them. And you can do that. And that's a great way to get business. I've done it. And run it the exact thing. Make a post about something in real estate, and whoever comments or likes it, reach out to them. Like, hey, thanks for liking my post. Are you interested in anything with real estate right now? And I picked up a client that we went to high school together, and now she's out looking for a house.
Yeah.
She just commented or said like my post or whatever, and I just hit her up and said, hey, thanks for liking my post. Do you have anything going on with real estate right now? And she's like, well, I was thinking about selling, and I don't really know what to do. So then I just got with her. We made an appointment, and now she's out looking, and it's going to be a buy sell.
Yeah.
So you can do it through social media, but you have to do it right. It's not just post and pray.
Sure.
Which sounds great, but
I mean, it'd be nice if it worked that way. I see a lot of people doing that, and it's funny. I want to be respectful in what it is that I'm saying here, but those that I've found that spend a lot of time and energy in the space of calling, meaning calling for sale by owners, cold calling, all that different stuff, and they're still active on social media. If you talk to them, I would bet that less than 10% of their business comes from social media.
Yeah.
Even though it might look like they are hammering social media. Then on the contrary, I know a lot of people, and again, I want to be respectful in saying this. I know a lot of people that they're like, all I do is social media. I hammer social media. I kill social media. But then I have conversations with them, and it's like, how much business have you done from it? Well, I've done 2 or 3 deals. Oh, okay. Well, like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it comes back to your point of like, what's your strategy of doing this?
Yes.
Right. There are people that I know who are really good at finding business on social media. They're in all kinds of different groups, they're in all kinds of different chats. They reach out to people more often than they post. That's another thing.
Yep.
Like you said, you got to reach out to more people than you post. And then there's others that just, like you said, post and pray.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are we what are we doing here?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it's kind of confusing and how this works and why you're telling me I need to do this.
Yeah, and I see there's a lot recently. I've noticed a few agents sharing other people's listings too.
Yeah.
Right. Which again, if you're supporting others, you know, whatever. Again, respectfully saying this, right? But at the same time, that's a false. It's almost like a false advertising. Like, oh, look at my listing. Well, it's not my listing. It's Rory's listing.
Yeah.
But look at it, right?
Yep.
Like it's great. It's like, yeah, but what are you doing for it, right?
Sure.
Like, so there's always that aspect of social media, but there is a way to do it, right? And there's a way to call FSBOs. There's a way to call expireds. There's a way to door knock. There's a way to farm a neighborhood, right? Like again, here's one of the biggest things I think most agents miss, and we all probably miss on this at some point. And it's one thing I really stress agents to get back to, especially agents who aren't heavy callers, is when you do get a listing, right? Door knock that neighborhood that you got the listing in, but call everybody in that neighborhood, right? Look up their phone numbers in that local search, find the phone numbers of the house where you just had that listing, and talk to everybody in the neighborhood. Because we all know, statistically speaking, once one house goes for sale in a neighborhood, there's typically 3 to 5 that come up again somewhere in that neighborhood. So why not be the one that did it? If your sign's out there, you should be the one dialing everybody in the neighborhood, right? I had a listing in one street, and I think there was 4 houses for sale, and there was 4 different signs.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because nobody followed up with that thing. But I think that farming piece we miss a lot.
Yeah.
And you know, that's one thing I've always gotten with my team is like, whoever gets the listing, we'll pull the information from the neighborhood, and then we all just take turns calling around that neighborhood, because it's just a team thing at that point, right? So you know, I'm typically heavier listing than I am on the buy side. I know you are too. But if I can then set somebody else up for success, that they can go get a listing out of that same neighborhood, the EXP Elite signs are on that neighborhood. If we can get 3 or 4 just Elite signs on that neighborhood, we're winning.
Sure.
You know, but I think that piece of business, I think agents miss out a lot on.
I honestly think a lot of agents don't even know that it exists.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And again, this is not meant to be a plug for the morning roll call or the coaching call. This is really just reality. These are the kind of things that we talk about. These are the kind of things that are coming up. The cool thing, and I want to, this is a plug. I'm going to have a conversation about EXP for a second. The previous brokerage that I was at and brokerages that I interviewed with, and to be clear, I was interviewing them. They were not interviewing me, because I'm choosing where I want to work. Anyways, when I was talking to the different brokerages and when I was at the previous brokerage that I was with, you said this earlier, what we give is you're going to end up receiving whatever it is that you give. I have found that so many people are so closed-fisted with the information, the tactics, the ways that they find business, all of that stuff. And I don't know what it is, but the moment that I came here, I was close-fisted. I was very close-fisted with all of my ways of doing things. And I started to realize, holy crap, no one else is. I'm the only one. I'm interacting with people. I don't want to interact with certain people because they do things different way than I. And I just went, oh my gosh, dude, like I'm everything that I don't want to be in this situation.
Yeah.
You know, it was really frustrating. And I've noticed too, when your hands are clenched and you're not giving up anything, your hands are clenched and you're not going to receive anything either.
Yep.
You have to open your hands up and be willing to give in order to get. And that is like those morning calls, like nothing is held back. Like exactly what you're talking about. There was a coaching over at Kim Adjemi's office recently.
Yeah.
And actually, just to be honest, like when I first came to EXP, the Adjemis, I loved them to death. They were at the previous brokerage that I was at, but they had such a different way of doing business than I did that it was almost like I don't even want to associate. I don't even want to be. And it was honestly, and it was my fault. I need to be willing to say that. Like I was confrontational in that way. And it wasn't until I went, holy crap, man, I am the problem here. I need to reflect on myself and fix myself. And now I have a great relationship with them.
Yeah.
Excited to be in Florida with them. Excited to hear Kim speak. Like it's going to be a really, really cool year. And it's been awesome since that happened. But man, the amount of information that people are open-handed with and what it is they're giving. And I bring all this back to say, you mentioned door knocking in neighborhood. If you don't know what door knocking is, you need to talk to somebody who's a coach.
Yeah.
Jimmy's a great person to connect with on that. If you don't know how to find information online on people's phone numbers, all of that stuff, you seriously need to get in on some of the coaching that happens on these morning calls, because Mojo, Vulcan, Red X, like and there's probably 10 more that are available to you at any moment of the day. You click on it, you pick the neighborhood you want to do, and you do a search, and you can end up with 400, 500, 600 phone numbers, many of which are for one single property, knowing that you can get a hold of somebody. So like plug to all of that, right? Like the amount of information that's shared here is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And you're right. And I've been at, a couple different brokerages. But again, like what's given away here, again, there's $1 million ideas on that morning call. Out of the 5 days a week that it's on, probably 2 to 3 days that there's $1 million idea waiting in there. At least, if you changed your mindset and just said, hey, I want to do my business this way, right? Because it's always trying to find a way, because everybody does this business a little bit different, right? Everybody has their different approach. Everybody has a different way of doing it. But what's the best fit for me, right? Like, how do I want to fit in? And now I have a bigger pool that I can be at and say, oh, I want to find that person's doing this. And I say this all the time. When you go to these big events like an EXP Con or whatever, real estate event you're at, if somebody on that stage is talking about something in their business and it really resonates with you, go find them after.
Yeah.
And have a conversation with them, because it resonated with you for a reason, right? And again, it's not the quick, easy idea, because those are everywhere. You can just open up your phone and find a quick, easy
ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's the easiest idea ever in real estate, right?
Yeah.
You get 1 million leads by tomorrow, and it's like, well, that doesn't really work, right? Sure. The magic bullet is not there. But if there's somebody having success running their business the way I kind of think I would like to do it, I want to go have a conversation with that person. And that's one of the things, like you mentioned, I found here is everybody's like, oh yeah, come here, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Like, here's the whole playbook. It's like, what? You just gave me everything?
Yeah.
You just gave me the whole thing?
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah.
And it's funny because I think we do this giveaway stuff because we know in our heart most people aren't going to do it, right? You can give the secret recipe away, right? If I'm Colonel Sanders and I give my chicken recipe away, nobody's going to go make that chicken.
Yeah.
Not the way I make it, not in the quantity I make it, right? They're not going to go do it the way I do it, which is fine, right? It's getting comfortable with who you are and what you want to be and where you want to go. But again, at the end of the day, I still need to know that recipe, right? Because I want to do it, but I don't want to do it at that scale. I want to do it at this scale, right? I want to be happy and I want to find some work-life blend that I can still be at home with my kids or whatever, or I want to go hunting, right? Like there's things I want to do, so I need to balance this out. So how can I do that? But I want to do it doing that.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things, you have to just go to these events. But that when then someone that's up there talking and resonates with you, go talk to them after. Go find them afterwards in the hallway. And if you're at an event and you can't find that person, get to a different event.
Yeah. That's a good word of advice, man. That's a really good word of advice. Yeah. No, it's 100%. And the other thing too, like, and this is just hitting me now, like the differences of what it is that I notice is there's a lot of brokerages out there that are going, hey, we provide leads. We provide leads. We'll give you leads. You want listing leads? We got listing leads.
Yeah.
You want buyer leads? We got buyer leads, which is not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with that. The difference is they're handing you a fish. And what I've noticed is over here, they're teaching you how to fish.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to fish with a net? Do you want a fishing rod? Do you want to use 2 fishing rods? Are you trolling? Are you bottom bounce? Like there's the ways of going about it are completely different. But unless you're joining a team, they ain't handing you fish. They're handing you a fishing pole and telling you how to fish with it, which is really, really cool. So that being said, one of the other things I wanted to get into, and this seems to be the topic of every single person that reaches out to, I'm sure you too, me as well. What are you noticing in the market?
Yeah.
When is it crashing? What's happening with buyers? Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? Interest rates are through the roof, blah, blah, blah. I kind of want to get just a little bit of a take on what it is that you're feeling, noticing, and then I'll share a little bit of mine too.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the bubble to burst.
Yeah.
Right?
We've been waiting for 5 years.
Yeah, the bubble, it can't sustain this forever. Rah. And it couldn't. Here's the thing, right? Here's the adjustment that got made. Interest rates went up, it's been 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
That they went up. And everybody's like, oh, rates are going. Rates had to level off. We had to find a leveling point somewhere. The 2 to 3% interest rates aren't leveling us off in an economy. If you look back at the 20-year average on interest rates, and again, I'm not making these statistics up. You can go find them. But the 20-year average on interest rates is 7%. That's the 20-year average. Now and think about that. How high were they before? Because we were in a 2 to 3 thing for a long time, a lot longer than we probably should have been. So a 20-year average was 7%. I remember when I first bought my house 25 years ago, we were at 9, and we thought it was a good rate. They had just dropped. We weren't in double digits anymore. It was like, ooh,
Yeah.
So I say all that to say this: where I think the market is right now, I think we've softened a little bit. We're leveled off a little bit, which is good.
Mhm.
It's a healthy market. We're and not even as healthy as it could be, because we're still only at like a month and a half, some spaces 2 months inventory, but we're still low inventory. Rates have gone down a little bit. They're saying rates are going to drop again, maybe before the first of the year, but definitely first quarter they're probably going to come down a little bit more, which means they'll get into the 5s. This is still a great rate. What I think is going to cause, though, and I think this is the important part for agents, is they got to be prepared for 2026. Right now is the time you got to start preparing for this, because I feel like we are going to get back into this a hectic situation again.
Bidding wars.
I think we could. I just had my most recent listing. I had 5 offers. We were at 169. We got accepted an offer at 182 with an appraisal guarantee, where everybody's like, "Oh, we're not getting." I just got an appraisal guarantee at 182 and at a house at 170. So it's still good, right? It's different areas and it's pockets or whatever, but I think the agents that are preparing now for 2026 have to be prepared for. We could get back into this buyer frenzy a little bit with rates dropping, what I think we will see, inventory increase, because I feel like if we could get back into the 5s, people that were to 2s and 3s, they weren't going to move at a 7, but I'll think about moving at a 5, right? It's only going up 2. And really, if I look at the numbers, it's not that much, right? Per month. It's, you figure these things out. But, and again, if you're a regular client out there just looking for someone, talk to a professional that can talk you through the numbers, because the numbers sound scary, and the media is going to put this scary, rates, it's like, actually look at the numbers and see what that payment looks like. Because the most important thing you have to look at is your payment. Right. And if you're an agent that's struggling to describe that payment, go to the EliteEdgeNetwork.com and we'll help you out. We'll help you disseminate what that looks like.
Yeah. That's good. So would you say that we're still in a seller's market where we're at right now?
I'd say we're kind of leveled off. I think we're almost leveled off. I don't think we're in a seller's or a buyer's. I think we're kind of in this phase of, it depends on the house.
Sure.
If your house is completely finished, upgrades, got all the things, you're probably in a seller's market.
Sure.
If your house isn't that great, you're probably in a buyer's market, right? It's going to sit a little bit longer. So I think it's kind of balanced out a little bit. Yeah,
I would agree with you. I still think we're like, if 50-50 is we're even, we're 60-40 leaning towards the sellers, I'd say.
Probably.
Only because I found that the number of purchasers out there has decreased, but the number of homes has stayed the same. But that doesn't bring them down to level.
Right.
We had 10 buyers for every one house 2 years ago, and now we've got 4 buyers for every one house.
Right.
But they're coming in and going, hey, we're priced off at the home. A lot of people are pricing the home as if there are 10 buyers to buy the house. So it's not selling as fast as it should, or going for the appraisal guarantees and all that stuff. But part of that is your pricing strategy and how you're using that to market the home. Right. But that being said, yes, I agree with you 100%. What I think is going to end up happening, I think that we're going to see this influx of especially if the rates come down. If those rates come down and they're sitting at 5%, all of these sellers who are going, hey, I bought a house in 2020. We've had 2 kids since then. 3-bed, 1-bath. It's just too small for us. We need to upgrade. But I don't want to be at a 6% interest rate. As soon as those rates come down, I'm going to be ready to go. I think that we're going to see a hefty majority of people in that spot, the second-time home buyer, who, like, as soon as those rates come down, they're jumping.
Yeah.
Which is going to increase 2 things in that instance. One, the number of buyers that are out there, which increases, like you said, appraisal guarantees, going above asking, waiving inspections, waiving, giving away free occupancy, all these different ideas. And you're going to see the number of sellers increase slightly. But I still think we're going to be in a buyer's market. In a seller's market. I think we're still going to stay there for quite a while. I don't think that's going to change for a bit.
Yeah.
But who knows?
The interesting part is going to be if we get inventory to increase, that'll be great. Because we went for a while there with buyers. It was like you were writing offers before you even saw the house.
Yeah.
That's not a healthy market.
Sure.
like that wasn't healthy. And then you had people buying above what the value was. right? They're going 30, 40, 50, $60,000 above asking price.
Yep.
Just to get into the house. That's not a healthy market, right?
Yeah.
It's great for us. Like, don't get me wrong. It's
Sure.
a great time
for us, great for
time,
sellers.
Yeah, great time for that. But at the same point, it was putting people in some bad situations. Now, I say all that to say that Americans have more equity in their homes now than they ever have.
100%. Yeah.
Right. So there's still more equity there. And again, if you're thinking about buying and you're thinking, well, the rates. Well, what you're missing out on is if you think about this, if you buy right now, and let's say you're at a 6.5%, 7% interest rate right now. I'm just throwing one out there. But you buy right now. All right. And let's say these rates dip down into a 5. Okay. So we know for every 1 point the interest rate drops, 3 million people come into the market.
Yeah.
So if we don't have inventory and we have an influx of buyers that come in, we've got now a supply and demand issue, which then does what? It increases the price of your house, right? It increases your value. So you're missing out on those equity gains because you want to wait for the interest rate to go down.
Yeah.
You want to save $30 a month. Let's say you want to save $100 a month, right? Well, you miss out on a $40,000 equity gain in 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we trading off here?
Sure. Yeah. I think everybody's circumstances are a little bit different.
For
right?
sure.
Like it really, but if you're sitting on the fence, I'm going to speak to you buyers right now, or those of you who are in a house that need to sell in order to purchase a home that you need to upgrade, or you want to downgrade to get in a condo from the 4-bedroom, 2,500 square foot house you have over in Shelby. Like I would highly, highly suggest sitting down with somebody and going, hey, tell me what my options are in this situation. What would it look like 6 months from now? What would it look like a year from now? What's the process for selling? What do I have to expect? All of those things, just to give you a good picture of what to expect so that you're then making a knowledgeable, good decision. And the reason why I say that is because the amount of calls that come in here of people who are like, yeah, I'm ready to do something, but I'm going to wait 2 years. And which, hey, if you want to wait 2 years, that's great. But you're trying to make a decision off of a puzzle that's not fully put together yet.
Right.
So let's put the puzzle together. And if you still want to wait 2 years, all good. All good.
Yeah.
But I want you to know what this means, what steps you need to take 2 years from now. But you might want to take these steps sooner.
Yeah.
And I don't want to rush you, but I want you to make the best decision for you.
Yep.
And it's hard to do that if you don't have all the pieces.
And like you said, everybody's circumstances are different. I had a conversation with a client, and they wanted to move. They wanted to get closer to the school because the wife was driving them to school, and it was kind of chaos. But then they didn't want to spend the money, and we puzzled it together, and they were better off staying where they were.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, so no skin off my nose to run the numbers and figure out. Again, our job is, as a fiduciary, is to put our clients in the best situation possible financially for them.
Correct.
It's not about us just collecting a commission, right?
Yep.
If that was the case, this would be the worst business ever.
Yeah.
But in the case of, if I can sit down with you, kind of balance some things out, figure out, does this make sense for you or not? Because if it doesn't make sense for me either.
Yeah.
Right. Because now I'm not putting you in a great situation. You're never going to tell your friends to use me as a realtor. Yep. Right. I could burn through a whole bunch, but that's just not how I do things.
Yeah.
And I know you don't either.
Right. Yeah. We said this earlier, and we're going to say it again and again till we're blue in the face. The goal here isn't selling houses; it's taking care of people.
Yeah.
We just happen to sell houses doing it.
Right.
So let me ask you this, and we'll wrap up with this. For any agent out there, let's bring it back to the agents. For any agent out there that's in preparation for 2026, what's the one area of focus? And I don't mean like lead generation. It's mostly like, there's how I'm finding my business, sure. But like more than that is, who should I try to find going into 2026? Should I focus on purchasers? Should I focus on sellers? Should I scrap all this and focus on commercial? Should I tell me where I need to put my focus in order for me to be in the best position kicking off 2026 and even going into 2026?
Yeah.
I think we're both going to have the same idea on this, but I kind of want to tee you off on that and see what you say.
Oh man, it's a trick question.
Yeah,
it's a trick question.
It is, but it's not.
It is, but it's not. I always lean back into finding out what whoever's asking me this question, find out what their goals are. Right. Sure. You can look at it a couple of different ways. I've got one agent on our team. She never wants to do listings. Again, she's good. She'd much rather just take buyers out, look at houses, write offers, and do that. The listings stress her out. She doesn't want to do them. Like,
Sure.
especially she'll call me. She gets in a multiple offer situation. I'm like, just give me the stuff, because like she just gets stressed out, right? So she likes buyers. But now, if you look at this, you're working with buyers. You're wearing the rubber off your tires. You're driving all over the place. You're meeting clients that are hopefully going to write an offer. You may have to see 5 to 10 houses before they even decide to pull the trigger, if they ever decide to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Right. So there's two ways of that. Commercial, I would steer away from commercial, only because, look, a lot of people are working from home, right? Now, I'm not saying that commercial agents aren't having success, but from what I've seen, it's the agents that have been doing commercial for a while, are having success, right? Because commercial is a little bit trickier than what we do. I've done a couple commercial, but nothing like, I'm not an expert for sure.
Sure.
But I think the most important thing is you have to find yourself, right? The agents have to find themselves and kind of just get honest with themselves and get real with themselves, figure out what it is, how they want to do this business, because there's a million ways to do it. Yeah. But the agents have to get really comfortable with who they are and stop thinking about who everybody else is. And I mean, heck, if you got to get off social media, get off of it, right? Because there's so many false premises out there of what real estate agents are and do. All these videos and TikToks, and they're great. They're hilarious. But like, there's I don't know how many rapping real estate agents we have now, right? There's a new one every day. Yeah, there's a new rapping real estate agent, and they're great. They're hilarious. I don't know how much they sell rapping, right? Again, it goes back to the social media thing. But I would say this. I would say get comfortable being who you are, figuring out where you want to go in this business and what you want to do with it. Because again, then everybody says, well, I want to be the team leader. I want to be the Mark Z or the Jeff Glover or the. Well, be careful what you wish for, because it's taken them a long time to get there.
Yep.
And from running those teams like myself, careful what you wish for, because it's not great. Not always, right? So again, get comfortable with who you are, where you want to go with it. But again, I always say find a mentor, find a coach, find somebody that'll help guide you through this. I still use a coach. You still use a coach. Like we it's not like you just get to a certain point in your career and go, forget it. I don't. No, man, I still need a mentor, right? Like, so if I don't have my mentors, if I don't have my Kurt Shewells around, like, that I can bounce business ideas off of, it's who am I talking to?
Yeah, no, 100%. I would, yes, to everything that you're saying. The big thing that I would press on a lot of people is, whether you're new in the business, you're more seasoned in the business, I would put as much emphasis on you as you can in 2026, because of a lot of the conversation that we had earlier around, if these rates drop, we're going to see more sellers come on the market, and those sellers have to buy a house.
Yeah.
So if your goal is to work with more buyers, find a seller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, not only will you end up in a position where that seller now needs to purchase a home, but there's a really good chance that you find another purchaser by the way you market that house really well. And so that's where my focus is, and it's where I've found my business to really take off, and where I've put most of my emphasis. And so I'm going to be biased in answering this question. But I would highly suggest, for any of you out here are trying to figure out how to focus, what to focus on, I would focus on trying to find listings going into and throughout 2026. I think it's going to put you in the very best position to hit the goals and even exceed them from what it is you're trying to do. So that's my 2 cents. But dude, very thankful.
Yeah, for sure, man.
We got to do this a little bit more often. We're 2 offices away from each other, and so
are we? No, we're not even 2. We're like next to each other.
We're right next to each other. Yeah, tap on the walls and say hi to each other. But super thankful, man. Excited to see you. You're speaking down in Florida.
Yep. And my AXP account on Tuesday, the 21st at 5 o'clock is when I'm speaking. So
awesome. I love it. And one more time, for anybody out there who wants to jump on some of those morning calls, what's the phone number again for that?
248-803-0656.
Yep. And then if they want to reach out to you directly about your coaching webinar, what's the email again for that?
Yeah, JimmyNelsonRealEstate@gmail.com. Or you can email Jimmy@theeliteedgenetwork.com. So those 2 emails will get directly to me, but I'm doing those webinars every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time until the end of the year. And then I'll see where 2026 takes us, but right now that's the Tuesday plan.
I love it. Thankful for you, man. Thanks for coming on today.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yep. Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Very thankful for you all. Have a very blessed day. We'll see you.